Welcome back to another episode of Power of the BI. I am Tarad. I am the Power of the BI. No, just kidding. I am the instructor of the Power of the BI. I am the leader of this podcast, or the facilitator of this podcast. And I just want to welcome you back to another episode of the Power of the BI. And again, BI meaning definition of power of the BI being business intelligence. So with that said, in this series, we are studying, or we are looking at evaluating or analyzing retail data. We are analyzing retail data. We are looking at a Power BI report visualization using Power BI. We are analyzing retail data. For those of you guys that are out there that are in the retail community, I'm telling you, this is an excellent report because it gives you an opportunity to look at some of the type of data that is used in retail. And if you are already in the retail industry, you will be able to understand that the data that we're using is good information to be able to dissect and analyze, what not necessarily just potential forecasts and projections are, but where the business is currently. That is just as important as what the forecast, if not more important than what the forecast is. But it gives you an opportunity to forecast, make projections, make predictions based on current and historical data that you have within your organization. If you're in an organization inside of a company and you're in the retail end of it, listen, I'm telling you, you will be short of impressive when it comes to presenting this information to your department heads, to your supervisors, to your managers, to the owner of the company, definitely if you're in small business. And if you're in small business and you have your own retail business, this is a great report, a great data set to use to create your projections, and to create your current state of the business, your current state of the organization. Listen, as I said before, unless you've been sleeping under a log for the last 2.5 years, you don't know what artificial intelligence is. Business intelligence is very similar, not exactly the same, but it's very similar to artificial intelligence. It gives business the foresight and the wherewithal to understand where they are currently, what they should be doing, what they could be doing, and what intelligence is telling them, what the intelligence of the data is telling them to make in reference to their next move within their business. Artificial intelligence and business intelligence, they work hand in hand. They're like hand in hand is what they're like. So, you may say, well, Tarad, I'm not a math guy. I'm not a computer science guy. Listen, neither am I. I'm neither one of those guys. I'm not a math guy. I'm not a computer science guy. But it's not that hard to understand data. Now, here's the deal. This is an industry that can take you from where you are. If you are sub 6 figures right now in income, this is an industry that can take you to 6 figures within the next 4 to 6 months. I'm telling you, I know, I've done it myself. The way that I taught myself is the way that I'm teaching you, and the way that I learn from others is what I've added into what I taught myself and what I'm teaching you. So you're getting the best of both worlds. If you're interested in doing that, if you're interested in BI, I encourage you to go over to thepowerofthebi.com. We currently have a 30% discount set up for those that participate in or that register and participate in our Zoom call that's coming up on, I believe it's May 15th. The Zoom call is coming up on May 15th. You'll have 48 hours after May 15th you have up until 48 hours after May 15th to receive that 30% discount. But just go over to powerofthebi.com, register now, and get ready for our next up and coming session, which starts June 3rd. You got any questions in regards to what goes on in these sessions? So here's the deal. Before we even get too deep into before we even get into today's information on the retail data and building out retail reports. I think this is important information to give you. So with that said, you want to know what do you get in the Power of the BI.com course. And what you get in the Power of the BI is you'll get over 50 hours of video learning experience at your convenience, at your pace. Some of those courses I am instructing, and some of those courses you're using as some of those videos I will be instructing, and some of those videos you will be doing performing your research or reference in order to complete projects. Then you'll have several projects that you've got to complete every lesson. I think there are 30 different lessons, what we call in modules. There are over 30 different modules that you'll be completing projects. So by the time you complete this course, you will have mad experience in building out Power BI reports. The only thing you will have that is probably detrimental to your health is the imposter syndrome, with you believing that you're just an imposter and you're not. Well, excuse me, my allergies are killing me again. You'll feel as if that you're an imposter and that you are not worthy of making six figures because you didn't go to school for it. You don't have a certification for it. Listen, I'm telling you, when you finish this course, you're going to be more than worthy and able to go out and get one of those six-figure incomes, six-figure jobs, if that's what you're looking for. I'm not going to tell you not to take a less than six-figure position if you need something real fast and that's the first thing that comes up and that's what you want. But I'm also not going to tell you to take something much more than 110, 115,000, because that could put you in a situation where you could be stressed out. But somewhere around 100 to 110 is where you should be, and you should be able to get there within the next 4 to 6 months, guaranteed. And what we will be doing in the Power of the BI.com is we will be meeting twice a week, once on Wednesday and once on Saturday. I'm not gonna go too deep. I'm not gonna go too deep in what we're gonna be doing, because that's not what this video is about. But I definitely wanted to let you know that if you go to powerofthebi.com and sign up for the next informational, you'll be able to get all the information you need directly from Mawa, myself, live, up close and in person, in the next informational session. So go over to powerofthebi.com, sign up for the Zoom. Anyway, so let's get into it. So here's the deal. Again, what we try to do here at the Power of the BI is we try to give you practical applications of what is going on in the real world. And I do believe that in the real world, there are businesses out there that are made up of retail. What does that mean? They are buying something wholesale from somewhere and they're retailing to the end consumer. At the end of the day, that's all it is. At the end of the day, that's all it is. Okay, but there are different segments that different data points that are important to retail. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to get online first. We're going to go back over to the table view of this Power BI report. And again, what we are looking at here is we're looking at the data that has been received over a period of time, accumulated over a period of time. And in this particular case, it's really only 250 rows, but 250, whether it's 250, 250,000, 250 million, 250 billion, this is data that the company has accumulated over time. And the data includes sales volume, which is the total amount of sales that's sold within a period of time, revenue, age, the person that's buying our products, gender, being male or female, location, whether it be rural or suburban, the income status, less than 50,000. Let's see, the income status we have here is going to be anywhere from 50,000 to 750,000, 750,000. 50,000 to $750, and it goes up to $1 million. It's kind of broad. That's a pretty broad range, but again, it's sample data. We're comparing product A units, product B units, product C units, product D units. So at the end of the day, when we say product A units and product B units and product C units, product D units, that could be any product. We're talking about 4 products, A, B, C, and D. For instance, we could be talking about socks, blue socks, red socks, white socks, and yellow socks. We could be talking about coats, jackets, pants, and t-shirts. We could be talking about cameras, TVs, computers, and lights. So just understand that the product A, B, C, and D are just products that are being sold within this particular company. And what I want you to do is take your company, whether the company you work for or the company you own, I want you to take your company and I want you to place your company in that scenario of place the products within your company in those scenarios. And we're evaluating your particular customers, male and female, the locations that they live in, rural or suburban. We are also rural, suburban, or urban. We are also looking at their income because we know that certain income levels purchase certain products, or certain income levels purchase a certain number of products. The profit margins for A, B, C, and D. How much profit are we making off of A, B, C, and D? And we're able to tell which age groups are making or providing us with the most profit, which genders are providing us with the most profit. We've got promotional effectiveness. How effective is the promotion? Is it good or bad? Are we getting positive responses from the promotion or negative responses from the promotion? That'll let us know if we should continue the promotion or if we should be doing something different. Customer reviews, positive and negative. What are our customers saying? These are the things we need to know. Do they have mixed reviews? These are some things that we need to know. Okay. Foot traffic hours, foot traffic location, the return rate, return reason, and the competitors, our competitors. We definitely need to know what our competitors are. X, Y, and Z. Our competitors X, Y, and Z. Again, X, Y, and Z. That's just not a letter. That is 3 of our competitors. Okay. Who is our competitor? Think about the competitors you have in your business, and we're saying the first competitor is X, the second competitor is Y, the third competitor is Z. We want to know, what our competitors are doing financially. How are they competing within the market? Then we want to know market share. What percent of the market do we own? What percent of the market do we control? What percent of the market do we control that our male customers are in, that our female customers are in, that our locations are in suburban, rural, or urban areas? Those are the types of things that we're able to identify. Those are the things that we look at when we start analyzing the data. Okay. And the first thing that we want to do when we come into a project is we want to analyze the data. We don't want to just jump straight out there and start building a report. Okay. Now, in our past lesson, the previous lesson, we looked at the cards. And in our card visuals, we looked at total sales volume, total revenue, and average rate of return, and average market share. Again, this information is based on the data that we have. And we saw the data over there with sales and sales volume and gender in the data. So now what we did was we broke that data out. That's what we do as Power BI developers. We analyze the data and then we decide what visualizations does the customer want to see. What visualizations is going to be best for the customer. Now again, let me be clear, just so that we all understand what a customer is. A customer is not the person going to the store that's buying something. The customer is the person that you're doing the work for. It's the business that you're doing the work for. It's the business owner that's requiring us to put a Power BI report, a business intelligence report together so they can determine how to better build their business, how to better run their business, how to make more money within their business. Because at the end of the day, a business is in business to make money. And as business intelligence developers, our job is to provide the customer, the end customer, the person that's hiring our business, in order to show them where they can make money based on the data that they're providing us. They've got to provide us with the data, and then we're going to say, hey, based on your data, this is how you can make more money. You're selling the products that you're buying, the quantity of the products that you're buying 80% of the products you're buying for females. But what we're seeing in our analysis is that 80% of the customers are males, or 75% of the products that you have and that you're selling are for that you're buying in inventory is for rural customers that may be out on farmland, but you're based in the city in an urban area, and 90% of your business is urban. So now you're sitting on X amount of inventory. So this is what we do as business intelligence developers. We look at the data, and then we analyze the data, and then we create visualizations and reports and build dashboards so that the customer can see, oh, this is how I make money. At the end of the day, what we like is we get paid six figures for doing this. $48 to $55 on average per hour is what we get paid to do. Here, we're looking at the dashboard. That's the retail dashboard. And on this particular dashboard, initially, as I said before, we were looking at the card visuals. And the reason why I'm breaking it out like this is because I'm not concerned about what the visualizations are. What I'm concerned about is that you understand that we don't build a dashboard 100 visuals at a time, right? Most of the time, we're probably going to have 5-6 visuals on a report. But the most important thing to understand is that we don't build out a dashboard 110 visuals or even 6 visuals at a time. We build out a dashboard one visual at a time, step by step. And that's my job. My job is, what I'm telling you is, I make learning tech, which this is called, is tech or data. I make learning tech elementary to where a 12 or 13-year-old 8th grader can do it. If I make tech elementary, you should make 6 figures a requirement. I never said you had to have a college degree. I never said you had to have 30 different certifications or even one certification. What I said is, I make learning tech elementary. You should make 6 figures a requirement. Okay? Have any questions about that? Leave them in the comment. Leave them in the comment if you have any questions about that. But getting back over to the report, we left off where we were building, where we built out, where we learned what these cards were. We built out cards here, and these cards gave us the data of the sales and the revenue, the rate of return, and the market share. This visual right here is called a slicer. I think we spoke about it before. This visual right here is called a slicer. This slicer basically is like, we're taking the company and we're going to slice it in half, or we're going to slice a part of the company. We're going to take part of the company and we're going to cut it up. So let's say we have a piece of paper and we cut out a corner of the paper. We slice the paper. See, I did that? That's elementary, right? That's elementary. We took a piece of paper, we cut out a corner of the paper. We sliced the paper. We sliced out a piece of the paper. When we sliced out a piece of the paper, it's not that the paper is not important. The piece that we sliced out is not important, but we only wanted just a little piece of the paper. So in this case, in this particular slicer, we're slicing by income. So the only thing we're concerned about right now is income. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down and I'm going to say, I want to see the income of, I believe that is 700, no, that's 75. These numbers are kind of wild. We're going to call that 1,000 to 75,000. So if the income is, if the income is $1,000 to $75,000, that's kind of wild. I would probably make that more 75,000 to 100,000, but it really doesn't matter what the number is. What matters is understanding that this is a slicer. So we're gonna look at the slicer that's looking at $1,000 to $75,000. Now, this slicer is saying, hey, when the income is 1,000 to 75,000, total sales volume is 820,000. Total revenue is 804,000. The average rate of return is 4.62%, and our market share is 24%. That's when we look at our data by income, by 1,000 to 75,000. Now, here, again, the numbers are kind of crazy. 750 to 50,000. When we look at 750 to 50,000, and again, this is just being sliced. These are numbers that we made up. So, don't take any of it with a grain of salt as far as the actual income, because these are not actual values. We're just slicing by this particular value. But when we slice by this value, now we get $693,000 in total sales volume, $629,000 in total revenue, and 5.75% in average rate of return, and 24% of the market share. Now, these numbers are not the only thing that's changing. Okay? If we just slice by another value down here, we'll see that our male to female column has changed too, or our gender column. So our gender here is somewhere around 0.4 million and for males and 0.38 million for females. Okay? So, that's not, so let me back up. So what we're seeing here is when we create a BI report, when we slice by certain values, it shows us the effect of all the other visualizations on the page. And in this particular case, we've got a visualization that's showing us by gender, and we have a visualization that's showing us by margin, by location. This visual here is called a column chart. This visual here is called a waterfall. I don't know why they call it a waterfall, right? But we can tell that it's dripping down, dripping down, dripping down. And if we look here, we're saying by location, and we had 3 locations that were identified in our. We had three location types that were identified in our data. And again, remember, our data is over here. We had 3 locations that were identified. And the first one was rural, which is here. And we're showing here that it looks like it's 0.35%. And our next location is suburban, and it looks like it's showing at 0.28%. And our next location is urban, and it's showing at 0.2%. Now, I want to make sure that we're talking Yeah, I don't have. Want to make sure you're looking at the same frames that I'm looking at. There we go. Now the total, which is here, this 100% is the calculation of this 20%, the 34%, 37%. Make sure that is. Let's see here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sure that I'm giving you the exact same numbers that I have on my waterfall. Okay, yeah. So this bottom is 0.37%, 0.34%, and 0.25. Or in actuality, it's 37%, 34%, and 25%, which is the total accumulation of 100%, which is here. So when we have a waterfall chart, it's going to show us everything, every segment of a particular column that we're adding or that we're using. In this particular case, we're saying margin by location. And the location types that we have are suburban, urban, and rural. And the total 100% is going to be each one of these added together to give us 100%. Now, the goal of this video is not to teach you how to create a waterfall chart. What I'm going to tell you is that in the power of the BI, our main goal is to show you how to build a report one visual at a time, understanding, analyzing data, or understanding and analyzing data, one visual, one piece of calculation at a time. Do you need to know how to code? The answer is no. Must you know how to code? The answer is no. We teach you the very basics of what you're going to need to be able to code in order to get that six-figure income. Okay, and when I tell you the basics, very minimal, that's what it is. Very basic, very minimal. And I don't want to throw out a number because somebody will say, oh, well, what about this and what about that? No, it's not what it is. Before I go any further, what I do want to do is ask you to subscribe to this video and subscribe, like this video and subscribe to this channel. If you made it this far, I want you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. As well as what I want you to do is, what I need to do is let you know that we really want to thank our sponsor, blackdigi.com, blkdigi.com, blkdigi.com. Go out there, support that team. If you purchase online, or if you are a vendor and you like to sell things online retail, Black Digi is the place to be. blkdigi.com, blkdigi.com. Thank you, Black Digi, for your support. But with that said, again, our goal is not to teach you how, in this particular segment, or this video, or this podcast, to teach you how to build a waterfall chart, not how to build a column chart, but to understand that learning tech and building BI visualizations using Power BI is not that complicated. Now, another thing that I need to do is I need to be very clear. I do not work for Microsoft. I am not contracted with Microsoft. I have worked with Microsoft as a contractor, building out BI visualizations before, representing a company that I work with, but I am not a direct employee of Microsoft. I am not even a contractor of Microsoft. I don't get paid for selling Power BI. I just use Power BI on a daily basis, and I think that Power BI is a very easy tool to use. So what I am trying to do is I'm trying to encourage more people like yourself to go out there and get into the BI game and to make this six-figure money. Okay. Anyway, so that takes us to the end of this lesson, and I hope that you have learned something. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. If you're interested in participating or learning or joining the course, Power BI, Power of the BI. If you're interested in joining the course, Power of the BI, go over to powerofthebi.com. We have a registration link where we will be having an online course or an online Zoom informational. So if you have any questions, you'll be able to ask questions live and in person on our Zoom class, and myself, yours truly, will be answering those questions and conducting that Zoom. So once again, thank you for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you win again in the next video.